I wrote down notes, and I'm going to show you guys my phone. So hopefully you guys will be able to see my phone. I want you guys all to have your phones on you with your Instagram, so that way if I say, look next to the camera or whatever else, you know where I'm talking about. Because I don't know. Let's see if this even shows up. Not real well. So yeah, just have your Instagram open. So all right, so I want to start out by saying I absolutely love Instagram, and it took me a long time to get to this point. So my story with Instagram is sometime probably a year ago, I was on someone else's team call. So it wasn't even our team, it was another team, and I saw they had a training on Facebook that they posted the link to, and I was like, I'm totally hopping on that. So on that training, this lady gets on and she's telling me about how she's built her entire business off of Instagram. So every distributor, every loyal customer, every person in her business has been from Instagram. And I was like, no way, like that's crazy. So they're all total strangers. She doesn't know any of them. So this totally just blows my mind, right? And I'm like, I've got to get on Instagram. So I jump on, and it was a whirlwind ever since. So, and by that I mean this lady talked about building her business on Instagram, but she did not give specifics of how it's done. I did my own research and looked for a really long time and tried to find other people's videos and tried a million different things, and I was having no success. And I was putting so much time into it, and it wasn't getting me anywhere. So it was probably around like April. I had taken a break from Instagram for a few months, and it was probably around April. I had run into some problems with Facebook, sending me some not so nice messages telling me that my account could be shut down. And I was like, crap. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I was like, I'm going to have to go to Instagram. So I went to Instagram and I started working it pretty heavy, and just stuck with it because I was like, if people are building businesses on Instagram, so can I. And what I'm going to teach you is what I have done that has worked for me. And I can tell you almost all of my business right now comes from Instagram. In the beginning, this is going to seem overwhelming. It's more, and I'm going to go through my schedule with you guys of what I do. It's not so much time consuming as much as it's something different, and focusing on it makes it seem overwhelming. It makes it seem like it's really time consuming. The other thing is that it's a process. So this is not instant gratification. This is something that's going to take you, 3 months to build up. That being said, I have a new distributor, Tari, who she, in like her second week of Instagram, started finding distributors and loyal customers. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but my experience is once I started working it and being consistent, is it did take me a few months, and every month it just gets better and better. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is your bio. So go ahead and open up your Instagram and click on the little person so you can see your bio. So here's things that you do not want to say in your bio. You do not want to.
Can I just cut in? I don't have Instagram on my phone. I've only got it on my iPad. It wouldn't download on my phone when I tried. So I've only got it on my iPad, and if I'm talking to you, I can't open Instagram.
Okay, so that's fine. So just follow along. This is being recorded,
Okay.
so you can go back once you do get Instagram on your phone. Just take notes, and you can go back and kind of watch this again when you have it on your phone.
Well, I'm recording on my phone, so cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So go ahead and look under your profile, so the little person. The things that you don't want to put in your bio is you don't want to talk about It Works. You don't want to say you're a distributor. You don't want to put green hearts or diamonds, because that's always a dead giveaway that you're an It Works distributor. You don't want to say you're an entrepreneur or you're on an adventure changing lives, okay? These are all very generic things that It Works distributors say. And when someone is going to follow you, they want to follow a person and they don't want to follow someone that's trying to sell them something. So when you start following people, if you want them to follow you back, you don't want to come across as like, hey, follow me because I'm going to try to get you, with some raps. So things you do want to post on your bio is you're going to post about, something fun about who you are. You can post what your interests are. Jackie had a great idea that you could post like your college alum on there. Anything that will gain loyalty with people, so you can post like what town you're from, college, what I have another distributor. She started posting a lot, about the Packers. She put in her bio she's a Packers fan. So things like that. There's a lot of Packers fan that they may not, know you from anyone or care about you, but they see you're a Packers fan and they're like, I'm following her. So people band together on that stuff. So those are things you do want to put in your bio. My bio, just to give you an idea, as I say, I am messy, fun, and laugh way more than the average human. Take a photo journey inside my head. And then I put my email address if someone wants to get a hold of me. For your website, do not put your It Works website because if you send people to your website, you're going to lose a lot of business. If you're going to put a link there, I have a link to my blog, but you could put a link to your Facebook profile. So that way they're finding you on Facebook and you have another way to stay connected. So I highly recommend that. As far as your name goes on Instagram, you don't have to, I did Be Healthy, Be Rad because I made a blog named that. You don't have to do anything like that. Your name could just be your name. In all honesty, I think it's a lot of times better to have something like that rather than coming across as a business because, like I said, the more personal you make your account, the better results you're going to have. So, public versus private. I started out having a public account. One of the first trainings I did talked about having a public account and using hashtags to generate business. So you would use 30 hashtags, and when people search those hashtags, they would find you and they would follow you. What was the true story with that was, yeah, I was getting followers, but they were all marketers. So I noticed that even though my following was growing, it wasn't my target market. And let's be honest, if it's not your target market, it's not helping your business. So, and not only that, but then I got all these people that were like, click here for 500 followers instantly. Click here to learn how to, build your business on Instagram. And it was all marketers that were just spamming my feed. And so it just made my account look kind of trashy. And like I said, it wasn't my demographic. It wasn't my target market. So what I did is I ended up putting my account private. And what I do now is I just go in and I follow other people. And I'll go through exactly how I find people I'm going to follow and my whole routine with that. But I'm not saying you can't do public. There's plenty of people who do. Usually when people do the public, they put their website up so people can go to it. That's not how I've had success with my business. So I'm not sharing on that with you guys. So what you're going to do is you're going to aim to post 10 to 12 times per day. And I know that seems like a lot, and it is going to be overwhelming in the beginning. But like I said, trust me, once you get this down, it's going to be like nothing, second nature, easy as breathing. So how I remember, though, is I set an alarm in my phone to go off every single hour. It's going to drive your family nuts, trust me. My husband goes crazy. But if I don't set an alarm, I forget to post. 2 hours will go by like it's nothing. So set an alarm in your phone. The types of posts you're going to do is you're going to do business posts, so like 2 before and afters per day. And then you're going to do some lifestyle posts. So like I'll post pictures of me with my kids and talk about how I'm appreciative that I get to be with my kids. Anything that shows my lifestyle. I'll take a picture of me at the pool and say this is my office today. anything that shows my life and my lifestyle with this business. So I'll do about 2 to 3 posts like that. Now the rest of my posts are going to be my interests and other people's interests. So for me, my interests are hair. I like, it's a lot of hair. I do some fashion, I do some nail art, I do some graphic design stuff. So whatever your interests are. Selfies are great. People love selfies. So even if you feel silly taking them, like me, just know that like people go crazy over selfies. So here are some of the things you can do is, you know, like funny, any type of jokes that you can find, little memes people love, pictures of food people love, family, fashion, all of that stuff. So that's how you're going to fill in the other posts, and you're going to stagger them out. So I like to do obviously something business related, whether it's lifestyle or before and after, morning and then noon and night, and then in between those I'm filling it in with, you know, interests of mine that I like. So that's how you're gonna post on your Instagram. You're gonna follow and unfollow 300 to 500 people every day, and you're going to like and comment and interact with people. So you're gonna need, like I said, InstaFollow or Crowdfire, and I'll go through those in a minute. But those are gonna tell you people who you're following that aren't following you back. If you follow someone and they don't follow you back, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help your business. So you don't want to follow them anymore, because basically it means you're seeing everything that they post and they're not seeing anything that you post. So you want to get rid of those people. So how I actually go about getting business on my Instagram, and here's something that's huge, you guys. So one of the biggest mistakes I was making on my Instagram is I would have people like pictures, but nobody would, and I would put my website, I would put my email, I would put my phone number. I had a few people email me, so that did happen for a while, and I was excited, but not really that many people were contacting me, and I was so bummed because I was like, how is this working for people? Okay, you have to be the one that reaches out to people. And just this last month, I had a few people tell me, they're like, I follow so many It Works distributors on Instagram, and I always want to try the wraps, or I always want to try the hair, skin, and nails, and you're the only person that's ever reached out to me. And I have heard that so many times. And so what you do is basically when you make a post, not your posts that are like, this is hair I love, or you know, I love this dress, or interior design, whatever it is, not those posts, but anything that's like your lifestyle with your business, like your business lifestyle posts, or your like before and afters. Whoever likes those photos or comments, but mostly you're going to get likes. I go into my direct messaging, and so let's say, let me pull up an example. So, for instance, last night, I posted a picture of hair, right? Before and after with the hair, skin, and nails. And I wrote, the mermaid challenge is on. I am so excited to see everyone's results from the hair, skin, and nails. So that was it. Like, it just, and then I had a few people that are actually in the challenge that were like, I'm so excited to see my results, all that. Okay. So I got 13 likes from that. So what I did then was I went through, and every single person that liked that photo, I went in and I sent them a direct message. So hang on, sorry, I'm getting a notification on my phone. Go away, go away. Okay, so your direct message is like this little mailbox in the corner up here. So you're going to click on that little mailbox, and there's a plus sign where you can send a new direct message, and I always use the photo that they liked or commented on. So don't send them like some random photo of you being like, you know, I've had people do that when I open up my inbox, and I'm like, what? What are you sending me? So Send the photo they liked or commented on, and for instance, this is what I sent every single person, same message. I said, hey girl, thanks for loving on my post. I had a spot open up for the 90-day mermaid challenge. Are you interested? Now, if they say yes, or they say, what is the mermaid challenge? Then I go through the LC conversation, which I'm not going to go through right now, because if you go through our intensive training or print out that document, that goes through the entire loyal customer conversation that I have with everyone. So, and what happened is I had 2 people from that get back to me and say, hey, thanks for reaching out. I'm more interested in the wraps. I would love to hear more in the prices. So, and then I had another girl say the same thing, basically in different words. So that opened up my opportunity of having that loyal customer conversation. Now, if I wouldn't have ever reached out, that conversation would have never happened. So now, let's say as soon as that happens, I'm going to take that person's name and I'm going to write it down so I know the date of when I talked to them and what they were interested in. The other thing I'm going to do is once we get going and they have questions, a lot of times I'm going to say, my messages don't always come up on my Instagram. Can I get your number so I can text you and it'll be easier? And then a lot of times they'll give you their number and then you can, write their number next to their name. And I'll show you guys my calendar and how I do that in a minute too. But the reason is, the one thing that is not good about Instagram, most recent on the top. Instead, or I should say, if somebody, it is your most recent on the top, but let's say somebody I talked to 5 weeks ago sends me a direct message that all of a sudden they want to order, it's still going to be way, scroll way down in 5 weeks ago. So it doesn't automatically move it to the most recent at the top. So that's the reason why I like to get phone numbers, because it's hard to scroll through and find people. So what I do as far as my calendar goes, let me pull up. This week will work. Okay. So here's my calendar. So I have a calendar that in the beginning it shows you the whole month with boxes, and that's where I write in, I'm doing a team training on Tuesday, all that stuff. On the actual days, what I do is I write down, these are all people that are potentials. So these are people that I've reached out to and they have shown interest in the business, and so I write their names down and I write what they were interested in. Now, let's say it doesn't go anywhere. I always try to get a future date. So my goal in every conversation is to get a yes or no if they're ordering right now. If they tell me they're not ordering right now, I always ask them, when do you think you would like to order? I'll put you in my calendar so I can save you a spot at my discount. If they're serious about ordering, almost always they'll say, I get paid on the 15th, or the end of August will be better for me, or whenever. So automatically, I'm going to take their name, I'm going to move it forward in my calendar, and I'm going to write their name down on that date that I need to contact them, and then I, put their phone number with it, so I know to get back in touch with them. So my goal in all of this is not necessarily to get a sale right away. My goal is to, every single day, I want to walk away with 5 potential customers. So 5 people that I can follow up with that I know will eventually get the wraps. But the key is that most people on Instagram that I talk to will not buy the first time I contact them, but a lot of them will when I follow up with them. Now, let's say somebody says no and they don't want to put, they don't want to give me a date of when they would be ready, or let's say they just stop responding altogether and I can't get them to respond. So what I do is I like to follow up on Fridays, and I didn't used to follow up on Fridays because I thought, oh, Fridays, everyone's like ready to go out and party, and so I thought nobody's thinking about wraps. Well, shows you I was a wild child because a lot of people are thinking they just got paid and it's a great time for them to purchase something. So on Fridays, from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed, I start following up with people. So like if somebody, like anyone who dropped off that was interested or wouldn't give, when I asked them what a date was, if they didn't get back to me, I'll put them on like my Fridays list and I'll follow up with them on Friday. The other thing I do is I scroll all the way to the bottom of my messages. I know this is really hard to see, but I scroll all the way to the bottom of my messages and I start going message by message and seeing who, like what I said to them last. And let's say the last time I talked to them, I offered them wraps or whatever, and it didn't go anywhere. So I will go then and say, hey, deal of the month. I have hair, skin, and nails, and I'll go through my hair, skin, and nails feel. Like I said, you can get the dialogues in our file section, but I'll go through hair, skin, and nails. The other thing you can do that's awesome is, let's say you explain the loyal customer agreement or the 90-day challenge. And so the next time you go and you talk to them, I will go through and I'll look if we've had dialogue before that explains everything. I'll go through and erase those messages, and you can do that, which is really nice. So I'll just click on that box, and then an option will come up to delete, and I'll just delete that message. So that way when I offer them my new deal of the month, then I'm not like repeating the message that was before, and they can't just scroll back and look. It's it's new conversation. So I like to go through and do that and read, obviously what we had talked about. So that's another great thing that you can do for your follow-ups. So, okay, as far as getting followers, what I like to do is I will click on the little magnifying glass and I'll go to tags, and I'm going to tell you guys my favorite thing to search. Is, for some reason, this is my search term that I've had the best luck with, and it's just mom life. So if you guys go to tags right now and search mom life, and other things will pop up like mommy life, mom life is the best life, and you can use any of those. So like I said, I go to mom life. The top posts I don't ever go to because those are people who have like 95,000 followers, right? And a lot of people will go to like clothing boutiques and places that have a lot of followers. The problem I run into with that is that once again, it's hard to get your target market. You have a lot of people that are just liking that page because they're trying to get followers. And so, you can go through and it's like you don't really necessarily know who you're getting. So I prefer to go down to where it says most recent. Don't click on obviously it works before and after, and I'll just click on one of those pictures. So this lady, her name is Rachel Was Here. Okay, I'm going to click on her profile. I'm going to scroll through her pictures. She's not an It Works distributor or selling anything, so that's awesome. So I'm going to go and I'm going to follow her. And then what you can do is after you follow her, you can click on, there's like these little bars that go sideways. I keep trying to show you guys this, and I know you can't see, but do you see like the notepad lines at the top when you click on someone's profile? Click on that, and that allows you to scroll quickly through the pictures, so you don't have to like choose a picture from the grid and then hit the back button. And I'm just going to go through, and I'm just going to quickly double tap on a few of her pictures that I like. And then I'm going to leave a comment on one that says, that is so sweet, he is precious, whatever you want to say, just make a comment on one of them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to her, and she's perfect because she's a mom, and a lot of her friends are moms. She doesn't have a lot of junk. I'm just going to go through and I'm quickly going to start tapping on anyone who looks like they are my target market. So don't put too much thought into it, because in all honesty, your profile, if it's on private, once they go to follow you back, that's when I really examine more who it is. So the first person that I take my followers from, I will try to like engage with them a little bit. And then when I go and start following their followers, you know, as long as they look like they're of age, I just click follow a bunch of times. Now, with this, be careful as far as not necessarily if you're just doing like an individual person like this, like a mom, but more so if you're doing like a boutique or something like that, because if you know, it takes you 2 seconds to click on 100 followers. That's no problem. But if you keep going within the same circles, like I guess falling down the rabbit hole, sometimes you can end up with the wrong demographic, and that's happened to me before. It's not a big deal. Like, it probably will happen to you at some point, where I thought I was like, oh, I'm clicking on all these moms, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you know, clicked on like 16 and pregnant, and I was like, these girls aren't even old enough to buy the product, and like I'm totally like trapped with all, you know, all these followers. So so just be cautious of that. So the thing, though, that's nice is then I'm going to go to where my follow requests are. And so go to that little bubble with the heart in it, the little talk bubble with the heart, and it'll say follow requests at the top. So I'm going to go through, and this is where I'm going to take a little more time. So I'm going to look, okay, this lady wants to follow me back. I'm going to scroll through real quick. Okay, she's not selling anything. She looks good. She's a mom. Awesome. So I'm going to allow her to follow me. Now, if someone has, like, if someone requests to follow me and I haven't, like, requested to follow them, I'm going to look and see how many followers they have. If they have, like, 5,000 followers, or, like, they're following 6,000 people and have 5,000 followers, I'm not going to accept their follow. Even if they're not a Knitworks distributor, I know that they're probably, you know, doing the same thing that I'm doing. And so I don't want them to do that, because I don't want them to follow my followers. So I'll go through and just, like I said, just click on people. Like, this lady wants to follow me. She's an Advocare distributor. I'm going to block her. Even if, and I was following her, but see, I didn't know. I was just clicking follow. Now I know I don't want to follow her. I'm going to block her. If it's a Knitworks distributor, unless you're on my team, I will block any Knitworks distributor. I probably do accidentally, even when people are on my team, just because I don't know. But, you know, just go through, and you're going to, the thing is, too, is you're going to see a lot of Knitworks distributors, and I'll have people say to me, they're like, well, I just don't think I can get business because I already have there's already so many distributors, and, you know, so I don't think it's going to work for me. That's not true. There are millions and millions of people on Instagram, and the beauty of it is it's all cold market. People do not get weirded out for the most part if you request to follow them, because it is people just meeting, you know, interacting with other people on a public level, where, you know, I know in Facebook sometimes people can be more personal about their Facebook and are a little more leery about letting you in. Instagram isn't that way. So I mean, if you can follow 100 people an hour and unfollow 100 people an hour. So if you were doing that from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you know, you have so much potential of reach of people that you're getting to. Now, that being said, I have taken small breaks from the number of people that I'm following, and that is to engage more with the followers I have. So when my business, when I really started to see interest, was when I hit like 1,500 followers. And then after I hit 3,000 followers, that's when I really started to see interest. That's when I started really enrolling a lot of people. And I slowed down at following people at that point, because I was going into my apps to see who was blocking me, who was unfollowing me. And a lot of the people who are unfollowing me, like, I didn't even remember ever seeing their profiles before. So I knew that I needed to, you know, interact with people more. So I slowed down on my follows for a little bit and just started interacting with the people that I had. Now, talking about InstaFollow and Crowdfire. It's basically the same thing. I think Crowdfire I like it better. The only thing that's really different is like InstaFollow, you can pay like a one-time fee and see who's blocked you. But I found that Crowdfire is honestly kind of easier because InstaFollow can be kind of glitchy and like the scrolling doesn't always happen fluid, so like it can get kind of tripped up and then you have to start like scrolling again and go slower. So for Crowdfire, you can go in and you can click on your recent unfollowers, and that will give you an idea, okay, who recently started unfollowing me. And I'll go through and I'll unfollow all of them. And then you can also just go to your non-followers and click on, you know, they don't have to be recent, but just all together, your non-followers. You're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of that list because that's going to be the people that you started following back farther. So the people, let's say you started following today, are going to be at the top of that list, and then the people you started following, you know, let's say days ago, are going to be at the bottom of the list. The other thing I like about Crowdfire is that you can put someone on what's called a whitelist, and that means like I have a couple people on Instagram that I like to follow, and I know they're not going to follow me back, but I don't want to unfollow them. So if you put them on your whitelist, then that means that it won't come up anymore on your non-followers list because Crowdfire knows that even though they're not following you, you want to follow them. So that's really helpful. The other feature in Crowdfire that can be helpful is there is a feature and it is called copy followers. Now, I have a couple things to say about this. The first is this is another reason why I don't like anyone to have a public profile, in my opinion, is because if someone has Crowdfire and they know that you're a successful distributor on Instagram, they can just type your name in if your profile is private, and automatically it will load all of your followers into the app, and that person can just spend all day long just following your followers. So it's it's an easy way for people to take business from you. So keep your profiles private. The other thing I have to say about that though is, first and foremost, I always want everyone to run an ethical business. No promotion, there's no customer, no distributor that's ever worth you sacrificing your ethics. So don't go to other It Works distributors and copy their followers. It's not ethical. Don't ever take business from somebody else. Now, if you want to go to someone who, let's say, sells makeup, or someone who's a blogger or sells jewelry, and you're looking at it going, or maybe they are, a fitness coach, and you're like, okay, I want to follow their followers because I know that this person's interested in looking good, or interested in health, whatever, then that's fine. You're not taking business from them because you're in a different market than what they're in. But just don't ever try to rob someone of their followers, of their business for, that's a distributor in the same market as you. I'm trying to think. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys real quick my schedule of what I do. So I typically do this at night, like before I go to bed. I'll just click onto Pinterest really quick. And, if you just pull up Pinterest on your phone, as soon as you see stuff, quotes, nails, whatever, Pinterest knows what I love. They give me all the good stuff. I just start saving the image directly to my phone. So I don't even pin it into places. I just save the image directly to my phone. So then I know that when my alarm goes off, I'm going to usually start the day with an inspirational quote. I'm usually going to follow it up by, like, my next is going to be a picture of, like, me with my kids, or, something that we're doing, something like that. Then I'm going to follow it up with, another, let's say, hair picture from Pinterest or something like that. Then I'm going to get to my midday post, and let's say I'm going to post a before and after, and then I'm going to post, something else about my lifestyle. Like, I'm going to sell 4 wraps, or or wrap for girls, or you can You know, I like to take a picture of like me because I am, you know, not the best when it comes to diet. I can be really good, but I can be really bad. And so I'll post a picture of me eating pizza and like have like my Fat Fighter bottle, you know, in the picture and be like, you know, thank goodness for my Fat Fighters because, you know, I lost self-control or whatever you want to say. But if you're going to take a picture of you with products, take a picture of you wrapping or of you with the product, you know, with the bottle. So you're in it because people love selfies. So as long as it's you and not just a picture of the product, you know, for Instagram, don't show corporate pictures. The other thing is don't show like those like ads. I know everyone's like really huge on the ads, and you know I like went into that for a while too, especially like having my background in advertising and graphic design. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make all these graphics and it's gonna be great. And in all honesty, people aren't relating to your ads. People are relating to you and who you are as a person. So make your Instagram authentic to you. If you know whatever your likes and interests are, make it authentic to you. And when you talk about the product and how you're using it or how it relates to you and pictures with you in it. You know, two moms, you know, Titan Skin, or I just got, and you know, I just welcomed a new distributor to my team, anything like that, but just make it personal, make it relatable, make it about your life, not flashing ads everywhere. So that's another thing to think of. Okay, so you already have your picture saved from Pinterest. So when you go in, like I said, I told you kind of my schedule of how I do things. You know, it doesn't take long to take one quick shot during the day here and there to add to your Instagram. Your phone alarm going off will really help you. I know people who maybe you can't post at work every hour, and I totally understand that. So just do it when you can. The busy times are morning, lunchtime, and night. So, you know, just make sure you're doing it on your lunch hour. Make sure you're doing it in the morning, and then at nighttime, you should be able to be more consistent at nighttime. And that's always the busiest time anyway, to be honest with you. So, anyone who likes or comments on my pictures, like I said, I get back to them. I don't do it as it comes in. I have what I call a power hour, and during that time, I sit down and I write every single person's name down. I first go and check to make sure that that person is 18 or older, or I try to make sure they're in a country where we sell It Works products. It doesn't always happen. I have a ton of women in Venezuela that are really, and Brazil, that are really hoping It Works makes its way to South America. So you can't always tell. But, you know, they always follow me, and they still shoot me direct messages all the time and say, you know, we're waiting for you to come here, and we can't wait to give you business. So, you know, I never kick them off my Instagram. I still love to interact with them. You never know what's going to happen. You know, just form relationships with people, honestly. Just be authentic, be true, form relationships with people. So, anyway, so I have what I call my power hour, and I'll write people down and say, you know, everyone who liked on a post, and I'll write down if it was like hair, skin, and nails, or if it was a business opportunity. If it was for, let's say, hair, skin, and nails, I always will take a picture of the post, and I'll message them, and I'll say, hey girl, or hey doll, or whatever you want to say. Thanks for living on my post. Are you interested in the hair, skin, and nails? Question mark. Send it to everyone. If they like my business post, I'll just say, you know, hey doll, thanks for living on my post. Are you interested in what I do? I love saying this. I've tried a million different things to say to people. I love just saying, are you interested in what I do? Because a lot of times people don't want to say no because it seems rude. So they'll say, yeah, what do you do? Or, you know, do you sell the wraps? Either way, it gets a response, and so it allows you to take the conversation farther. I used to say, are you interested in making extra money, or are you interested in making additional income? And I just get a lot more response saying, are you interested in what I do? I think it comes across, I don't know, it's like less like salesy or, you know, like gimmicky. I don't know, but that's what I have the best of luck with. So you know, once they respond, like I said, I go through the little customer conversation. But I do it all in what I call my power hour. So I just bust all those out. I do it at nighttime. And the other great thing about Instagram is because people aren't on it constantly, it's not a big deal if you get back to someone a couple hours later, or if you get back to them in the morning when you see the message. It's not like no big deal. So, and then like I said, at that point, I'll try to get their phone number and say, let me talk to you. So one other thing I don't like about Instagram direct messaging is that it doesn't always tell you when you have a new message. So here's what I do. I'm going to go in, and let's say it's first thing in the morning. I'm going to go in, I'm going to post my picture. After I post my picture, I'm going to go to my home page. I'm going to scroll, and I'm going to quickly go through, and I'm just going to like, let's say 10 pictures. I'm just going to go through, scroll, like 10 pictures. If I really like one, or if it's someone that I like to interact with, I'm going to comment on their picture. After I do that, I'm going to go in, I'm going to scroll through my direct messages real fast to make sure I don't have any, because I'm telling you, a lot of times you'll see a little blue dot, which means you have one, but it's not showing you on the mailbox. So I'm going to scroll through. Okay, I don't have any messages. So then I go through, and I'm going to go to search. I'm going to type in my mom life. I'm going to find my girl. Awesome. I'm going to follow her. I'm going to go to her followers. I'm going to follow her followers. Okay? All right, I'm done with that. Now I'm going to go to Crowdfire. I'm going to go to, where is it? Unfollowers. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to unfollow 100 people. Done. That whole process, I'm not even kidding you, is going to take you, once you get into the rhythm of it, it is going to take you 2 minutes out of every hour if you do it every hour. In the beginning, like I said, it is going to seem overwhelming, because it's going to seem like, oh, like now I have to, how do I find someone? And you're going to put too much thought into it, and you're going to say, is this the best person to follow? Oh, and you're going to scroll and look at her followers. You're just going to overthink it. Don't overthink it. Like I said, you hack up plan of when they try to follow you back to, get them. And I don't always catch people. I find people all the time that I let slip, and they're at Works Distributors, and as soon as I find them, I just go in and block them. It's no big deal. But once you guys get the hang of it, I swear to you, this whole process is going to take you 2-3 minutes tops per hour. And that's it. And then another thing I'll do when I do my power hour, because literally it doesn't take an hour to send out all those DMs. You're using the same picture, you're copying and pasting the same script. Doesn't take long. I'll go through my notifications, and I'll go through people who, it'll give me a list of people who like my photos, and I don't go through every single one, because good God, that would take forever. But I'll go through, and I'll just pick some of them out, and I'll go through and I'll interact with them and like their photos. So, and that's something you can do if you're watching TV, if you're waiting in a doctor's office, anytime you have a second. It's mindless work. Just go through, click on some of those people, like some of their photos, just so you're interacting with the people who are interacting with you. And that's what I do. What questions do you guys have?
I have a question, Caitlin. When you were saying, oh, my phone died, but to delete your messages so that they can't see. So if you delete it, they won't see that message at all.
Right.
That's awesome. And how do you? I didn't find that little. Like, how do you delete it?
So let me pull one up real quick so I can tell you exactly. So I'm going to click on this. Actually, here.
Quick question too. Can you see if they've seen the message, like on Facebook?
So you can. If you go in there, there will be like a green check over their name, and that means that they saw it. Like the message, it'll glow. Like their face will glow if once it's or like their face will come up once it's delivered, and then once they see it, you'll see a green check. And then if that person is on Instagram at the moment, there will be, I think this is right. There's like a blue bubble over them. So that's how you know like they're active.
Oh.
But yeah, the green check means that they have seen your post. So let me pull up an old one. And okay, so this one. Hang on, sorry. When I get phone notifications, it stops my world. Okay, there we go. All right. So here's one. I'm going to select just click on the comment, and then after you click on it, a box will pop up, and it'll say delete comment, view profile, or copy text. So if I'm going to send more direct messages, I'll hit copy text, obviously, when I'm doing my power hour. If I want to delete it, I'll just delete the comment. And sometimes I'll go back through and I'll delete like the past few comments, depending on how our conversation went, because I want them talking to me again. I don't want them scrolling back and reading like, oh, I have all the information here. So before I message them again, I get rid of all of that. That way, they're like, oh, wait, what's the 90-day challenge? Wait, what are the prices? And I get that opportunity again.
So say you are like somebody likes your post, and you go and you click on their name, and then you go and you like click on to message them. Will that current message already come up?
Nope.
Like the conversation that you already had?
It doesn't work like Facebook at all. So there's two ways you can direct message. And one is you're not going to go to their profile. You're going to write their name down, and then what you're going to do is you're either going to click on the little camera mailbox right here, or you can click on the camera down here.
Okay.
If you click on the mailbox, that is automatically going to put you into direct messages. But if you click on the camera, once you select your picture and you edit it, it's going to ask you if you want to send it to followers.
Okay.
That's not going to show, or direct. And so you can do a direct message that way too. Honestly, I find it's easier to click on the mailbox, hit the plus sign, choose from the gallery, go through the edit, and then you're going to write whatever you want to write. And then when it goes to, who it's going to, you're going to type in what their Instagram name is that you wrote down and hit search, and then it will pull up people. Click on the person you want. Okay. And that's how it's going to go about that way.
And then, so say you already had like a month ago you had a conversation with that person, but you couldn't remember because there's so many people. So when you click on, like when you type in their name and find them and you click on them, does that old conversation pull up or no?
And that's what makes that.
So how do you know to delete them? You just delete your follow-ups?
So I don't delete conversations ever, because that's how I'm going to follow up with people, is through, like when I do my follow-ups, I'll go through and be like, okay, like I sent this lady this, she said this, and then I'll go through and delete the conversation a little bit back so I can offer her like the deal of the month. Okay. And there's times where like I've had multiple messages to people, because I'm like, I think I've messaged them before, but I have so many people in my, mailbox that I'm not sure. And I just kind of look at it and I'm like, no big deal, whatever. But you can't, I keep trying to find an app that will allow you to like search through people in your direct messages, or search through old direct messages. But I haven't found anything yet. If you guys find one, let me know. That'd be awesome. But that's why I always write them down, what their name was, the date I talked to them, what they were interested in, and then if I can get a phone number, I'll put their phone number down. So that way the potentials who are, like anyone who's made communication with me back, I will always have them down. And then, like I said, the ones that like don't ever respond, I'll still just go through and send them the deal of the month until they either block me or tell me to go away.
Okay.
And and like I said, like when I do like my follow-ups on Fridays, like you'll find a lot of those people, because I go through every message and follow up with people when I do my follow-ups. So it's not as easy as Facebook as far as messaging goes. It takes It definitely takes like more organization and like writing down the person's information. But like I said, it's amazing for reaching out to that cold market.
Awesome. Thank you. That was so great.
Yeah.
Quick question. So, Amanda's process on Facebook is spot on. Genius. She, every month if they don't respond, she does a deal of the day. Is that the same like process you'll follow on Instagram? So say they don't respond. Okay, so say they like a photo, don't respond, you message them and you hear nothing. What is your process after that? And how many times do you message them after that to kind of just, you know what I mean, be done? Or I get confused with that whole thing because I don't want to be that girl.
So on Instagram, I will follow up with people with, like, you can even do a deal of the week or a deal of the month, whichever you want to do. But I follow up with people on Instagram even if they never respond. I'll just keep deleting the last message that we had and keep sending them the new deal of the week or deal of the month, however you want to do it. I usually do. I don't really do deals of the week because I don't want to like ride people. I do more of the month, but I'll just keep sending them stuff until, like I said, they block me or tell me to go away. And I don't know. I'm always one that I never want to bother people, and so that's been something that's been really hard with me and following up with my business is that I never want to like people to feel like I'm riding them or harping on them or anything like that. But with Instagram, I think because it's all cold market, it's all people you don't know, and it's not as personal as Facebook, that it's really easy. Like, people can just block you and it's no big deal. Like, if I didn't have that thing that told me who blocks me, like, I would never have any idea, and to be honest, I don't really care. I love the relationships I have on Instagram. I'm not saying I don't care about those people, but I don't take it personally, and I don't know. To me, it's separate.
That's very cool. Okay, so, thank you. Okay. That's the question.
Is there any? Sorry, did you have another part of that question? You cut out for a second.
Me? No, that was very helpful. I just didn't know. I guess I'm just a little bit confused about the deleting the comments because I haven't really done a lot of direct messaging, so I don't know, like, if they've seen it, do you delete it? You know what I mean? Like, if they've seen it, you can see they've seen it, do you still delete it? You know what I mean?
Well, you're deleting it because they've seen it. So, but they're not going to remember when you're going back, even let's say you go back 2 weeks later or a week later and you're offering them something else or trying to follow up. Like, let's say the last thing I talked about was, I always explain the loyal customer program. I always, explain it as a 90-day challenge. So I'll go back and, if they say, what's the 90-day challenge, or as soon as they start talking about price or whatever, I delete all of that. So they can see, fine, like we've talked about the wraps before, but not anything else. Now, if it's someone who never responded to me, so let's say I'm like, hey, thanks for loving on my post. Are you interested in the wraps? ? And they never respond. Then when I go to follow up with them, I'll delete that and I'll send them, next message saying, hey, deal of the month. I have, fat fighters or whatever, and give them my deal. And, the whatever we said last time is gone. That way, I don't ever want them to look back and be like, you've messaged me 10 times,
Right.
So I just delete it, and it's always fresh. So that's how I do it.
No, I like that. That makes sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah.
So good. Like, I'm dying to get my Instagram going.
I know.
I'm excited. I think like the biggest thing is, like I said, just know in the beginning there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. It's going to be overwhelming, but trust me, like I've been there. It gets really easy. Don't think you have to like create your own images, because in all honesty, it's time consuming, and You know, people don't really connect with ads anyway. They're going to connect with you and your story. Make sure you're consistent on following and unfollowing people every day. So 300 to 500 people. If you can do more than that, that's awesome. But it doesn't take time. It's just remembering. So, you know, make sure you're following and unfollowing, you know, and know that, like, just trust me that once you get up to like 3,000 followers, it's going to be good. Like, it's going to be really good. And once you get up to 1,500 followers, like, you're going to start seeing results from it. So just, you know, in the beginning, if you're like, why am I doing this? Nobody's interested. Just know that it takes time and just stick with it. But especially if I would have known this in the beginning and started doing this before my war market ran out, I mean, I can't even imagine, you know, what my business would be like right now. So just nurture it, give it time to grow, be organized as far as, like I said, like writing down the people's names and getting them in your calendar. Because, you know, like we said, the fortune's in the follow-up. So get people to give you a date, mark them in your calendar, and follow up with them. Yeah, and same with, you know, almost all of my distributors last month. I signed 8 distributors, and I think all of my distributors, except for 2 of them, came from Instagram. So all of my loyal customers came from Instagram. So, you know, and this month I'm expecting for it to be even better. So.
I have a question that's not related to Instagram, if I'm not cutting anyone off.
You know what? Can I answer that after this video?
Yep.
For you? Yep. And you can just private message me?
Yeah, I was just hoping, well, I guess everyone's from America, so they wouldn't really understand anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll message you when we're done with this training, and I'll get all your non-Instagram questions answered.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Caitlin.
Yes.
On InstaFollow, that's the only one I have so far. Is there a feature that lets you follow multiple people at a time, or is that just with the Crowdfire?
That is just with the Crowdfire.
Okay, that's going to save me a lot of time.
Yeah, and Crowdfire's free. All you have to do is just put in the name of someone that you want to follow their followers, and under copy followers, and it'll give you the whole list. But it happens really fast because it automatically scrolls for you. So like with InstaFollow, you waste a lot of time trying to scroll. And I mean, in reality, like what it maybe adds up to like 30 seconds, but when you're a busy person, 30 seconds is 30 seconds. So Crowdfire, it automatically scrolls for you, so you can just keep hitting the plus button, or like if you're unfollowing, you can just keep hitting that same like minus button, and it's gonna just do it so quickly and seamlessly for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Does anyone else have questions?
Hey, Caitlin, I think a few other people are trying to get on from for the 7:15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we're time's up. Well, thank you guys so much, and I hope this helps. If you guys have questions, just shoot me a message or post them on the team page, and I'll get them answered as quickly as possible.
Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I have no.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Bye,
Nice to meet you all.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Nice to meet you.